Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. 1,000 yen. I was cleaning my room today. Thanks Corona for no school. No thanks for forcing me to do chores I've put off for 2 months. And found 2 1,000 yen bills with a couple other Japanese currency in coins. Last year I was flying from Shanghai to Maryland. With a transfer in Tokyo. 16-year-old me was traveling alone. But not for the first time. After I landed I checked in with my parents. Bid them good night because it was way past any acceptable bedtime in their time zone. And went around looking for things to do to kill time. I had been sleeping when they served food on the plane and of course I was hungry. There was a McDonald's, a Starbucks, a 7-Eleven, etc. Just the usual chains you see in airports. But I figured since I'm in Tokyo I might as well get something I won't find anywhere else. Anyhow, I stumbled into a Japanese restaurant with a menu tuned for a more international group of customers. So much for finding something unique. But I can't really read a sushi menu and also sushi is expensive. The place had a nice atmosphere. I had ample space to myself. Across me sat a young guy and an older man. The duo looked like student and professor. I ate my curry with fried pork with so much leisure that I only had about half an hour left before my flight departs. The total came down to a little over $20 United States dollars. I took out a Visa credit card to pay, thinking that the trusty little guy who had served me well in 2 other countries would also work here. But the waitress tried 3 times and said sorry. I'd have to pay some other way. I asked her, rather stupidly, if the restaurant takes US currency. Of course it didn't. I began to panic a little just then. The waitress, who was super nice, told me that currency exchange is just around the corner. She told me not to worry and just finish my matcha sundae in peace. I simply didn't have the heart to. After taking a few bites, I left my jacket and carry on at my seat. Informed the waitress I'd be back soon. And ran to the exchange booth. When I got back with 2 paper bills and a couple coins of various sizes, the waitress told me that my bill had been paid by the old man who was sitting across from me. He and his companion were leaving when I went to say thank you and give him the money. But he declined after my multiple insistence. I didn't know how to respond. I was overwhelmed with gladness. I feel like I should have done more or said more to him. But I simply collected my stuff and rushed to catch my flight after that. I kept the bills because there was nowhere to spend them. Now that I found them, I don't suppose I'll spend them anywhere. Even if I do visit Japan one day. They're a sweet reminder of a kind deed that still makes me smile. End of story. Next story. My dad left for some milk. Days. Weeks. I don't know how much has passed. I couldn't get a word out of my mother. Nor anyone else in this heck of a neighborhood. Well, what was left of it? At least my father had left to get some milk, what felt to be decades ago. Shortly after that, a breakout of lactose mutating into unstoppable beasts in a nearby ultra-secret site that no one knew much about had started. All the products, yogurt, cream, butter, ice cream. It had been infected faster than how fast a man dies after falling into a river in a city. I've been sitting quiet in my living room. Streets have gone silent ever since that accident. Suddenly, a loud bang echoes through the house, coming from the front door. It's them again. I run to the door, trying to hold it as long as needed to, until the beast tires itself and goes away. And just like that, it stops. I gasp silently after I hear slashes of a heavy weapon sliding rapidly into what seemed to be the soft insides of a rotten buttery beast. Few more slashes. Grunts. And then nothing. Silence. I haven't dared to take a breath longer than a second. Then, the most gentle knock on the door. It startled me, since I was still leaning on the door, unsure how to proceed, since I had no way of knowing who the entity behind the door was besides actually opening it. I shifted my hold slightly, allowing some light to shine through the door crack. I gasp. It's him. It's my father. He throws away the rests of a cardboard box that belonged to the previously intact mutant's body. I saw a hero. And that hero kneeled in front of me, looking me straight in the eye, both tearing up. My son, you're safe now. End of story. Next story. Abused power as teacher 18 comments share save hide report 99% upvoted. End of story. Next story. Best friend. So I was 20 and enlisted in the United States Army. After basic I got to my unit in Colorado and didn't know anyone except one person from basic who got stationed there too. I lived in the barracks for about 2 years. Started to make friends and some became family and then the whole platoon became family. I never thought I would feel so close to many people I didn't even know. Anyway, I became really close with my friend that we'll call Kyle. We would eat, drink, go to parties, even in the field we would go shit together. If we weren't together it was because we were on separate work duties. Being apart was like missing another half. Happiest time of my life was with him. One day I was playing a video game in my barracks room and his room was just down the hall from me. So I figured I would go see what he was up to. Turns out he wasn't there. He went out, which I thought was weird since he would have asked me to go with him. I went back to my room and watched a movie. Catch Me If You Can. Later that night I got bored and figured I would see if he was back yet. He still wasn't back. The next day we have PT, physical training, and he wasn't there for accountability, so all the higher-ups were trying to reach him via phone but couldn't. 2 days go by and he was counted AWOL, not good. About 5 days go by and I get a phone call from my team leader and he sounds down and he told me, "Hey, the cops found Kyle. He went up to Cheyenne Mountain on the trails and shot himself. Don't think I'll ever miss someone more than him." End of story. Next story. Truth or Dare. When I was in 10th grade there was this girl I really liked. We had one of those spend the night at the school kinda things. So me and my friends decided to play Truth or Dare. It was me, my 4 friends, 3 other kids, and the girl I liked. It was pretty normal, no one really had the balls to say anything weird, if you know what I mean. So my friend asked my crush to flash me. Best 2 seconds of my life. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.